Imagine a world devoid of light, where pressure mounts to levels that would crush steel, where life itself is a testament to the impossible. This is not a distant moon or a hypothetical alien planet. This is Earth. This is the Mariana Trench, a permanent scar on the face of our world, an abyssal chasm plunging 11,000 meters into the planet's very core. For centuries, it has stood as a silent, formidable guardian of untold secrets, a realm of crushing darkness that defied human intrusion. But the silence is now shattered, the darkness is pierced. This last frontier, once a mere curiosity for intrepid scientists, has become the new battleground for global supremacy. The world above grapples with shifting power dynamics, with land and air and space already carved up, contested, and surveilled. But beneath the churning surface of the ocean, a different kind of war is brewing, one fought not with missiles and fighter jets, but with robotic submersibles, advanced sonar, and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. As nations vie for control of diminishing resources and technological advantage, their gaze has turned downward, into the crushing depths where the sun has never touched. The Mariana Trench, once a symbol of nature's ultimate untamed power, is now emerging as the epicenter of a silent, strategic struggle, a struggle for the very future of global dominance. This is not a conventional war. There are no explosions, no visible armies clashing. Instead, it is a war of whispers and shadows, of technological leaps and calculated risks. It is a race against the unknown, a clandestine competition unfolding in the most hostile environment on Earth. Global powers, driven by a thirst for resources, a hunger for technological supremacy, and a strategic imperative to control the planet's hidden arteries, are descending into this abyss. The stakes could not be higher. What lies beneath 11,000 meters of pressure could redefine our world, our economy, and our very survival. The battlefield is set, the competitors are ready. The deep ocean, long considered humanity's final frontier, is now becoming its next arena of conflict. We are on the precipice of a new era where the Mariana Trench holds the key to power, wealth, and control. This is the story of that race, that struggle, that war, waged in the heart of darkness for the soul of the future. The deep calls, and the world answers, with submersibles and ambition, daring to plumb the depths where no one has dared before, not just for discovery, but for dominion. To truly grasp the significance of this struggle, we must first understand the battlefield itself. The Mariana Trench is not merely deep, it is profoundly, terrifyingly deep. It is a geological marvel, a crescent-shaped scar stretching over 2,500 kilometers in the western Pacific Ocean near the Mariana Islands. Its deepest point, the Challenger Deep, plunges approximately 10,984 meters below sea level, a vertical drop so immense that if Mount Everest, the tallest peak on Earth, were placed within it, its summit would still be submerged by over 2 kilometers of water. This is a place beyond human comprehension, a realm where superlatives fail to capture its sheer, overwhelming enormity. The environment within the trench is unlike any other on Earth. The primary, most daunting challenge is pressure. At the bottom of the Challenger Deep, the pressure exceeds 1,100 standard atmospheres, more than 16,000 pounds per square inch. This is equivalent to having 50 Boeing 747 jumbo jets stacked on top of you, or the weight of 1,000,000 elephants pressing down on a single human body. Such immense force instantaneously crushes conventional submarines, implodes even the strongest materials, and poses an engineering nightmare that pushes the very boundaries of human ingenuity. Any vessel designed to withstand this must be a marvel of strength and resilience, a testament to material science and structural integrity, capable of enduring what seems to be the very fist of the planet itself. Then there is the darkness, perpetual, absolute, impenetrable darkness. Sunlight penetrates only the first few hundred meters of the ocean, casting the vast majority of the water column into eternal night. At 11,000 meters, no photon from the sun has ever reached. This is a world where vision as we understand it is obsolete. Life forms here have evolved astonishing adaptations: bioluminescence to attract prey or mates, sensory organs attuned to chemical gradients or subtle vibrations, eyes that are either massive and highly sensitive or completely vestigial. For human explorers, this darkness demands advanced illumination technologies, sonar systems that paint a picture with sound, and an absolute reliance on instrumentation, transforming exploration into an act of blind faith guided by digital pulses. The temperature at these depths hovers just above freezing, around 1 to 4 degrees Celsius. The water is frigid, dense, and unforgiving. Oxygen levels, though surprisingly present, are low compared to surface waters. Despite these seemingly insurmountable obstacles, the trench is not barren. It teems with life, a unique and bizarre ecosystem adapted to extreme conditions. Giant amoebas, translucent amphipods, bizarre Mariana snailfish, and microbial communities thrive in this hostile environment, often sustained by chemosynthesis, harnessing energy from chemical reactions rather than sunlight, particularly around hydrothermal vents. These unique life forms represent a vast, untapped library of genetic information, holding potential keys to biotechnology, medicine, and understanding the very origins of life. The geology of the Mariana Trench is equally fascinating and strategically important. It is formed by the subduction of the Pacific Plate beneath the smaller Mariana Plate, a process where one tectonic plate slides beneath another. This collision of continental forces not only creates the deep chasm, but also gives rise to intense geological activity. The trench floor is characterized by vast, flat abyssal plains, steep canyons, and towering seamounts, underwater mountains that rise thousands of meters from the seabed but remain far below the surface. These geological features are not just points of interest, they are potential hiding spots, surveillance points, and crucial areas for accessing the very resources that are driving this silent war. Furthermore, the trench is a geological hotspot for mineral deposits. The tectonic activity, the hydrothermal vents spewing superheated, mineral-rich fluids, and the slow accumulation of sediments over millennia create an environment ripe for the formation of rare earth elements, polymetallic nodules, cobalt-rich crusts, and massive sulfide deposits. These are not merely academic curiosities, these are the building blocks of modern technology, vital for everything from smartphones and electric vehicle batteries to advanced military hardware. They are the prize, the treasure that fuels the geopolitical ambition now descending into the abyss. Understanding this environment, its crushing pressure, its eternal darkness, its frigid temperatures, its unique biology, and its hidden geological riches is paramount. It frames the scale of the challenge and the magnitude of the reward. The Mariana Trench is not just a destination for scientific inquiry. It is a fortress, a vault, a strategic stronghold that demands an unprecedented level of technological prowess and human resilience to merely enter, let alone conquer. It is a world apart, yet its secrets hold the power to reshape the world above. For much of human history, the deep ocean remained an impenetrable mystery. Sailors navigated the surface, but the vast, crushing abyss below their keels was a realm of myth and superstition, a place where sea monsters lurked and the earth simply ended. Early attempts at deep-sea exploration were rudimentary, driven primarily by scientific curiosity and a profound sense of wonder. The very first dives were courageous but limited, typically involving bell-shaped chambers lowered from ships, allowing brief glimpses into the twilight zone, a mere fraction of the ocean's true depth. The real breakthrough came in the 20th century, spurred by advancements in materials science and engineering. In 1934, American naturalists William Beebe and Otis Barton descended in the bathysphere to a record 923 meters, opening humanity's eyes to the bizarre and beautiful life forms that existed far beyond the reach of sunlight. It was a pioneering effort, but still only scratched the surface of the true deep. The 1950s marked a significant leap forward with the development of the bathyscaphe, a free-diving submersible designed by the Swiss physicist Auguste Piccard. This revolutionary vessel, utilizing gasoline for buoyancy and iron shot for ballast, allowed for unprecedented depths. And it was in 1960 that humanity achieved its first, fleeting triumph over the Mariana Trench. Aboard the bathyscaphe Trieste, Jacques Piccard, Auguste's son, and U.S. Navy Lieutenant Don Walsh made history, descending into the Challenger Deep. They spent a mere 20 minutes on the seabed, diligently observing life and confirming the incredible pressure before beginning their methodical ascent. This monumental achievement was a testament to courage and ingenuity, pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible. For decades, it remained the sole manned expedition to the deepest point on Earth. Following the Trieste mission, deep-sea exploration continued, primarily driven by scientific research. Submersibles like Alvin, developed by the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution, enabled scientists to explore hydrothermal vents, discover entirely new ecosystems, and unravel the geological processes shaping our planet. These were missions of pure discovery, expanding our understanding of biology, geology, and oceanography. The focus was on knowledge, not conquest. However, a subtle shift began to occur in the late 20th and early 21st centuries. As surface resources became scarcer and technological capabilities advanced, the strategic value of the deep ocean slowly started to emerge. The discovery of polymetallic nodules rich in manganese, nickel, copper, and cobalt in the vast abyssal plains, and sulfide deposits teeming with gold, silver, and rare earth elements around hydrothermal vents transformed the deep sea from a mere scientific curiosity into a potential treasure trove. Nations began to realize that the ocean floor held not just scientific secrets, but also immense economic and strategic potential. The development of remotely operated vehicles, ROVs, and autonomous underwater vehicles, AUVs, further revolutionized deep-sea exploration. These uncrewed systems could withstand greater pressures, operate for longer durations, and conduct more complex surveys without risking human lives. This technological leap democratized deep-sea access, making it more feasible and less prohibitively expensive for a wider range of actors, including nations with burgeoning technological ambitions. The legal framework, or lack thereof, also played a crucial role in this shift. While the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLS, provides guidelines for territorial waters and exclusive economic zones, EEZs, the vast majority of the deep ocean floor, particularly beyond national jurisdictions, is considered the common heritage of mankind. This designation, while noble in its intent, has also created a gray area, a vacuum that encourages a strategic land grab. Nations are aware that whoever develops the technology to access and exploit these resources first could establish a de facto claim, setting precedents for future international deep-sea governance. Thus, the journey from the bathysphere's initial glimpse to the Trieste's heroic dive and onward to sophisticated robotic probes reveals a profound transformation. What began as a purely scientific endeavor, a quest to understand nature's extremes, has evolved into a strategic imperative. The deep ocean, and particularly the Mariana Trench, is no longer just a laboratory. It is a proving ground, a resource frontier, and a new theater of geopolitical competition. The era of pure discovery is waning, replaced by an era where science meets strategy and exploration becomes a high-stakes race for control. The silent struggle for the deep ocean is a direct consequence of a profound geopolitical shift unfolding across the globe. For decades, the focus of international power projection has been on land, air, and space. Yet, as land-based resources dwindle, as maritime trade routes become increasingly vital, and as technological advancements push the boundaries of human reach, the vast, unexplored realm beneath the waves has emerged as the next arena for strategic competition. This is a new great game, played out in crushing darkness, where the stakes are nothing less than global dominance. Why now? Why has the focus of global powers turned so decisively beneath the waves? Several convergent factors are at play, each contributing to the urgency and intensity of this hidden race. Firstly, resource scarcity. The world's insatiable demand for raw materials continues to grow exponentially, driven by industrialization, technological innovation, and a burgeoning global population. Critical minerals like rare earth elements, cobalt, manganese, nickel, and copper are essential components for modern electronics, renewable energy technologies, and advanced defense systems. Land-based deposits are becoming depleted, environmentally challenging to extract, or concentrated in politically volatile regions. The deep seabed, however, is believed to harbor vast quantities of these resources, often in concentrations far greater than those found on land. Polymetallic nodules, cobalt-rich ferromanganese crusts, and seafloor massive sulfides offer a tantalizing prospect of securing future supply chains and reducing dependence on traditional suppliers. The nation that can access and extract these resources first, efficiently, and at scale will gain an unparalleled economic and strategic advantage, potentially reshaping global supply chains and industrial power. Secondly, technological maturation. The leaps in ocean technology over the past 2 decades have been nothing short of revolutionary. We are no longer limited to primitive submersibles with limited endurance. Modern deep-sea vessels, both manned and unmanned, are capable of withstanding extreme pressures, navigating complex underwater terrains, and operating for extended periods. Advances in robotics, artificial intelligence, sensor technology, and communication systems have transformed the feasibility of deep-sea exploration and exploitation. These technological advancements have effectively unlocked the deep ocean, transforming it from an unreachable fantasy into a tangible, albeit challenging, frontier. The development of advanced deep-sea mining robots, autonomous underwater vehicles, AUVs, with sophisticated mapping capabilities, and resilient materials for submersibles is not merely scientific progress. It is a strategic investment in future power projection. Thirdly, strategic positioning and control of critical infrastructure. Beyond raw materials, the deep ocean plays a critical role in global communication and military intelligence. Over 95% of international data traffic, including financial transactions, government communications, and internet services, flows through a vast network of undersea fiber optic cables. These cables are the digital arteries of the global economy, and their security is paramount. The ability to monitor, tap, or even disable these cables provides an immense strategic advantage. Conversely, protecting one's own cable infrastructure from potential sabotage or surveillance is a national security imperative. The deep ocean, with its concealment and harsh environment, offers both a perfect hiding place for these critical lines of communication and a challenging theater for covert operations targeting them. Understanding the geomorphology of the deep, having the capability to operate clandestinely at extreme depths, and developing technologies to either protect or exploit these networks are key elements of this new strategic calculus. Fourthly, the last frontier imperative. With space increasingly contested and terrestrial resources under immense pressure, the deep ocean represents one of the last truly unexplored and unexploited frontiers on Earth. Nations that establish a dominant presence here early on could set the rules, control access, and potentially dictate future international norms. There is an inherent advantage in being a first mover, not just in terms of resource acquisition, but also in terms of scientific knowledge, technological expertise, and diplomatic leverage. The Mariana Trench, as the deepest and most challenging part of this frontier, becomes a symbol of ultimate technological prowess and national ambition. Conquering it is not just about science, it is about demonstrating superior capability on the global stage. Finally, the evolving nature of warfare. As traditional military domains become saturated and capabilities converge, nations are seeking asymmetric advantages. Deep-sea capabilities offer precisely that. Submarines are already a critical component of naval power, operating stealthily beneath the waves. The next generation of deep-sea technology, including ultra-deep submersibles, advanced underwater sensors, and potentially even weaponized autonomous systems, could revolutionize undersea warfare, intelligence gathering, and deterrence. The ability to deploy assets to extreme depths, to navigate undetected, and to gather intelligence on an adversary's deep-sea activities represents a significant leap in strategic capabilities, potentially giving a decisive edge in a future conflict. The confluence of these factors has transformed the deep ocean from a realm of scientific curiosity into a geopolitical battleground. The new great game is being played in the dark, silent depths, far from the prying eyes of the surface world. And at its heart, due to its extreme nature and potential for unique resources, lies the Mariana Trench, a crucible where science, strategy, and ambition collide for the future of global dominance. While the United States, once a trailblazer in deep-sea exploration, has seen its manned missions slow and its focus shift, a new formidable power has risen to challenge the status quo: China. With an unwavering strategic vision and massive state-backed investment, China has systematically and aggressively ramped up its deep-sea exploration capabilities, making the Mariana Trench a primary target for its burgeoning fleet of submersibles. The Dragon is diving deeper, faster, and with a clear purpose that extends far beyond mere scientific curiosity. For decades, China was a relative newcomer to the deep-sea arena. But in the 21st century, it embarked on an ambitious program to become a global leader in ocean technology. This initiative is not fragmented. It is a coordinated, long-term national strategy, recognizing that mastery of the deep ocean is intrinsically linked to future economic prosperity, national security, and global influence. Beijing views the deep sea, and especially the Mariana Trench, as a critical frontier for securing resources, advancing technology, and projecting its power. The most visible symbols of China's deep-sea ambition are its advanced manned submersibles. The Jiaolong, meaning dragon, made headlines in 2012 when it successfully descended to 7,062 meters in the Mariana Trench, setting a record for manned submersibles in China and demonstrating a significant leap in its technological capabilities. This was a statement of intent, signaling China's arrival as a serious contender in deep-sea exploration. But the Jiaolong was just the beginning. In 2020, China unveiled its next-generation manned submersible, the Fendoja, or Striver. This vessel is a true engineering marvel, designed specifically to reach the very bottom of the Challenger Deep. In a series of highly publicized dives, the Fendoja repeatedly descended to depths exceeding 10,000 meters, with some missions reportedly reaching 10,909 meters. These dives were not just about breaking records, they were about systematically testing the limits of its technology, collecting vast amounts of data, and demonstrating China's unparalleled ability to operate consistently at the deepest points on Earth. With its titanium alloy sphere and advanced robotic arms, the Fendoja represents the pinnacle of deep-sea engineering, rivaling, and in some respects, surpassing the capabilities of any other nation's submersibles. Beyond manned vessels, China has also heavily invested in a fleet of advanced autonomous underwater vehicles, AUVs, and remotely operated vehicles. These unmanned systems offer distinct advantages. They can operate for longer durations, explore more hazardous areas without risking human life, and collect data across vast swaths of the deep seabed. China's AUVs are equipped with state-of-the-art sonar, cameras, and manipulators, capable of detailed mapping, sampling, and even deploying scientific instruments or surveillance devices. This dual approach, leveraging both manned and unmanned systems, maximizes its exploratory reach and efficiency. So, what exactly is China looking for beneath 11,000 meters of crushing pressure? The motivations are multifaceted and deeply strategic. 1. Rare minerals and critical resources. This is arguably the primary driver. The Mariana Trench and the broader deep seabed is a geological hotspot for valuable minerals. China, as the world's largest consumer and often largest producer of rare earth elements, is acutely aware of the strategic importance of these resources. Its submersibles are actively exploring for polymetallic nodules rich in manganese, nickel, cobalt, and copper, cobalt-rich ferromanganese crusts adhering to seamounts, and seafloor massive sulfides around hydrothermal vents containing copper, zinc, gold, and silver. Securing a domestic supply of these critical minerals would reduce its reliance on foreign imports, strengthen its industrial base, and provide a significant geopolitical lever. Indeed, reports consistently indicate that Chinese deep-sea missions often return with extensive mineral samples, suggesting a systematic survey for economically viable deposits. 2. Methane hydrates, fire ice. Beyond solid minerals, China is also intensely interested in methane hydrates, often dubbed fire ice. These ice-like crystalline solids trap vast amounts of methane gas within their structure and are found in sediments under the deep ocean floor. Methane hydrates represent a potentially enormous future energy source, far exceeding the known reserves of conventional natural gas. While the technology for economically and safely extracting them is still in its nascent stages, China views their exploration as a long-term strategic investment in energy security. Discovering and mapping significant methane hydrate deposits in or near international waters would provide China with a massive future energy hedge. 3. Strategic undersea cables. The deep ocean is crisscrossed by a critical network of fiber optic cables that carry the vast majority of global internet and communications traffic. These are the lifeblood of the modern world. China's deep-sea capabilities are not solely for resource extraction. They also have clear implications for intelligence gathering and strategic positioning relative to these cables. The ability to accurately map, inspect, or potentially even interfere with undersea cables provides a significant strategic advantage in times of peace and, more critically, in times of conflict. While publicly emphasizing scientific research, the dual-use nature of deep-sea technology means that advanced submersibles can easily be repurposed for intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance (ISR) missions targeting these vital arteries. 4. Marine science and biotechnology. While resource and strategic motives dominate, genuine scientific advancement is also a significant component. The unique ecosystems of the Mariana Trench hold an unparalleled library of genetic and biochemical potential. Discoveries of novel enzymes, extremophile organisms, and unique biological processes could lead to breakthroughs in medicine, biotechnology, and industrial applications. China's robust investment in marine science is aimed at unlocking these secrets, not just for pure knowledge, but also for potential commercial and strategic exploitation of biological resources. 5. Technological supremacy and prestige. There is an undeniable element of national prestige and technological demonstration. Consistently reaching and operating in the Challenger Deep demonstrates a nation's peak engineering capabilities, its scientific prowess, and its willingness to invest enormous resources in ambitious projects. It sends a powerful message to the international community about its status as a leading technological power. This flag planting at the deepest point on Earth is a symbolic projection of power, akin to the space race in its ambition and global signaling. The contrast with the United States is stark. While the U.S. has formidable deep-sea capabilities through institutions like NOAA and the U.S. Navy, its focus and investment in manned deep-sea exploration has slowed considerably since the glory days of the Trieste. Private ventures, like James Cameron's Deep-Sea Challenger expedition in 2012, have taken up some of the slack, but a concerted, state-backed national effort comparable to China is less apparent. This divergence creates a potential strategic gap where China is rapidly gaining ground, or even surpassing, in critical deep-sea operational experience and data acquisition. China's relentless push into the Mariana Trench is more than just exploration, it is a calculated gambit for future global dominance. It is a testament to a long-term strategic vision that understands the profound link between deep-sea mastery, resource security, technological leadership, and geopolitical influence. As the dragon dives deeper, the world watches, wondering what secrets it will unearth and how those secrets will inevitably reshape the balance of power on Earth. The silent struggle unfolding in the Mariana Trench is not an isolated endeavor. It is a meticulously calculated play in the grand chess game of global power. The stakes are immense, touching upon every facet of national interest, economic prosperity, technological supremacy, and ultimately geopolitical control. What nations are racing to uncover beneath 11,000 meters of water is nothing less than the key to future global dominance. 1. Resources, the fuel of future dominance. At the heart of this deep-sea scramble is the allure of untapped resources. The global economy, increasingly reliant on advanced technologies, consumes vast quantities of raw materials. Many of these, particularly rare earth elements and critical minerals, are becoming scarcer on land, or their supply chains are vulnerable to geopolitical disruption. The deep seabed offers a potential solution, a veritable treasure chest waiting to be opened. 1. Rare earth elements, REEs. These 17 elements are vital for modern electronics, renewable energy technologies, wind turbines, electric vehicles, and advanced military applications, precision-guided missiles, stealth technology. China currently dominates the global supply chain for REEs, giving it significant leverage. Discovering new, accessible deposits in the deep sea could break this monopoly, providing alternative sources and diversifying supply chains for other nations while further cementing China's resource security if it finds more. 2. Polymetallic nodules. These potato-sized concretions litter vast areas of the abyssal plains, particularly in the Clarion-Clipperton Zone in the Pacific, but also potentially in the Trench. They are rich in manganese, nickel, copper, and cobalt. Nickel and cobalt are crucial for high-performance batteries, especially for electric vehicles, a rapidly expanding market. Manganese is essential for steel production. 3. Cobalt-rich ferromanganese crusts. These crusts form on the flanks of seamounts and other underwater elevations. They contain higher concentrations of cobalt, platinum, and rare earth elements than polymetallic nodules. Cobalt is particularly prized for its use in lithium-ion batteries and aerospace alloys. 4. Seafloor massive sulfides, SMS. Found around hydrothermal vents where superheated mineral-rich fluids erupt from the Earth's crust. These deposits are rich in copper, zinc, lead, silver, and gold. While often in more challenging geological settings, their high metal content makes them incredibly attractive. 5. Methane hydrates, fire ice. As previously mentioned, these crystalline solids represent a colossal untapped energy reserve. If economically viable extraction methods can be developed, they could fundamentally alter the global energy landscape, providing centuries of clean-burning natural gas. The nation that masters this technology and secures significant deposits could hold an unprecedented energy advantage. The sheer scale of these potential resources is staggering. Estimates suggest that the deep seabed could hold more nickel, cobalt, and rare earth elements than all known terrestrial reserves combined. For nations like China, with a rapidly growing economy and an industrial base dependent on these inputs, securing these deep-sea riches is not just an opportunity. It is an imperative for long-term economic stability and strategic autonomy. For others, it is a chance to diversify supply and challenge existing monopolies. The economic implications are colossal, potentially triggering a new commodity boom and shifting global economic power balances. 2. Technology, the edge of innovation and warfare. The race for deep-sea dominance is fundamentally a technological race. Accessing and operating in the Mariana Trench pushes the very limits of human engineering and scientific understanding. Every challenge, pressure, darkness, extreme cold, communication delays, demands innovative solutions, and the breakthroughs achieved in this environment have profound dual-use potential. Advanced submersibles. Developing manned and unmanned submersibles capable of withstanding extreme pressures and operating for extended durations is a monumental engineering feat. This requires cutting-edge material science, e.g., titanium alloys, ceramic composites, advanced propulsion systems, e.g., highly efficient batteries, fuel cells, and sophisticated life support for manned vehicles. Robotics and AI. Deep-sea exploration and mining will rely heavily on highly intelligent, autonomous robotic systems. These robots need to be capable of complex tasks, from precision sampling and drilling to operating sophisticated sensors and navigating treacherous terrain without human intervention. Advances in underwater AI, machine learning for data analysis, and highly dexterous robotic manipulators are crucial. Sensor technology. To see in the dark, advanced sonar, LiDAR, and acoustic imaging systems are essential. Developing sensors that can detect minute changes in geological features, identify mineral deposits, and track biological activity at extreme depths and in challenging conditions is a key technological battleground. These sensors also have direct military applications for surveillance and anti-submarine warfare. Communication systems. Traditional radio waves do not penetrate deep into water. This necessitates the development of advanced acoustic communication systems, which are slower and more susceptible to interference, but are the only viable option for real-time data transmission and control. The ability to establish robust, secure deep-sea communication networks is both a scientific and a military priority. Deep-sea mining technology. The actual extraction of minerals from the seabed presents an entirely new set of engineering challenges. This includes developing robust collector vehicles, riser systems to transport minerals to the surface, and processing technologies that can operate effectively in extreme conditions. The nation that pioneers efficient and environmentally sound deep-sea mining technology will hold a decisive economic and technological lead. The technological spin-offs from deep-sea exploration are immense. Innovations in materials, robotics, AI, and sensor technology developed for the Mariana Trench can be directly applied to other high-tech sectors, including aerospace, defense, energy, and medicine. The nation that masters deep-sea technology gains a significant edge in its broader technological capabilities, fostering innovation and providing a strategic advantage in areas far beyond the ocean. Moreover, the military implications are clear. Advanced deep-sea submersibles and AUVs capable of stealthy operations, intelligence gathering, and even weapon deployment could revolutionize undersea warfare and reconnaissance. 3. Control, shaping the future global order. Beyond resources and technology, the ultimate prize in the deep-sea race is control. This encompasses control over critical infrastructure, strategic positioning, and the very rules governing this last frontier. Undersea cable protection and disruption. The vast network of undersea fiber optic cables is the nervous system of the global economy and information age. The ability to survey, repair, and protect these cables is a national security imperative. Conversely, the capability to clandestinely interfere with an adversary's cables for intelligence gathering or even disruption is a potent strategic weapon. Deep-sea submersibles provide the means to do both, turning the deep ocean into a covert battleground for information dominance. Strategic positioning and surveillance. The unique geological features of the deep ocean, seamounts, canyons, trenches, offer ideal locations for deploying fixed or mobile surveillance systems. These could monitor submarine traffic, track adversary movements, or gather acoustic intelligence over vast areas. Control over key deep-sea locations provides a silent strategic advantage, enabling early warning and intelligence collection that is virtually undetectable from the surface. Establishing precedents and norms. The legal framework for deep-sea mining and exploitation in international waters is still evolving, largely governed by the International Seabed Authority. However, the practical reality is that nations actively developing the capability to exploit these resources are effectively shaping the future rules. By demonstrating sustained presence, conducting extensive surveys, and developing extraction technologies, a nation can establish de facto claims, set technological standards, and exert significant influence over future international agreements. Being the first to effectively colonize this frontier gives immense diplomatic and strategic leverage. Geopolitical leverage. Mastery of the deep ocean translates directly into geopolitical power. A nation that controls vast deep-sea mineral reserves can influence global markets, reduce its vulnerability to sanctions, and wield economic power. A nation with superior deep-sea technology can project influence in new domains, enhance its naval capabilities, and gain a decisive edge in intelligence. This holistic control over the deep-sea domain provides a powerful new lever in international relations, potentially shifting the global balance of power for generations to come. The Mariana Trench, therefore, is not just a scientific curiosity or an engineering challenge. It is a microcosm of the larger global competition. It is where science meets strategy, where exploration becomes competition, and where the relentless pursuit of knowledge is inextricably linked to the struggle for power. The secrets held within its crushing depths could unlock a future of unprecedented wealth and technological advancement for those who claim them, or usher in a new era of geopolitical tension and conflict as nations vie for control of Earth's last frontier. The silent struggle is for everything. As global powers plunge deeper into the Mariana Trench, driven by strategic imperatives and the promise of untold riches, they inevitably confront a murky landscape of unknowns and complex ethical dilemmas. This is not merely a technological race, it is a profound moral and environmental challenge, pushing the boundaries of human responsibility in an ecosystem we barely understand. The silent struggle for the last frontier is also a struggle for our conscience, begging the question, at what cost do we pursue dominance in the deep? 1. The unknowns, what secrets lie hidden? Despite decades of intermittent exploration, our knowledge of the Mariana Trench and the deep ocean in general remains incredibly limited. We have explored less than 5% of the ocean floor, and a mere fraction of that has been subjected to detailed scientific scrutiny. This vast unknown harbors secrets that could be transformative or profoundly dangerous. Undiscovered life forms. The extreme conditions of the trench have fostered unique and bizarre forms of life, often with novel biological adaptations. We have only scratched the surface of this biodiversity. There could be thousands, if not millions, of species yet to be discovered, each holding potential keys to medicine, biotechnology, and understanding the resilience of life itself. Deep-sea mining or extensive exploration risks destroying these ecosystems before we even know they exist, wiping out potential cures for diseases or breakthroughs in material science. Unforeseen geological phenomena. The active tectonic processes in the trench could harbor undiscovered geological features, such as new types of vents, unique mineral formations, or even previously unknown seismic hotspots. Unraveling these could enhance our understanding of plate tectonics, seismic activity, and the Earth's internal processes. Conversely, disturbing these areas without full understanding could have unpredictable consequences. Climate change and ocean processes. The deep ocean plays a critical, albeit poorly understood, role in global climate regulation, carbon cycling, and nutrient distribution. Disturbing the deep-sea environment through large-scale mining or exploration could have unforeseen impacts on these delicate processes, potentially exacerbating climate change or altering ocean currents with far-reaching global effects. Geopolitical surprises. Beyond natural secrets, there is the potential for discovering evidence of covert operations by rival nations, previously unknown surveillance systems, clandestine installations, or even debris from classified missions. The dark vastness of the deep provides perfect cover, making it a plausible dumping ground for secrets and a potential trove of intelligence for those who can access it. 2. Ethical dilemmas. The price of progress. The pursuit of deep-sea resources and strategic advantage in the Mariana Trench raises a host of profound ethical questions that humanity is only just beginning to grapple with. Environmental impact of deep-sea mining. This is perhaps the most pressing ethical concern. Deep-sea mining, particularly for polymetallic nodules or sulfide deposits, involves disturbing vast areas of the seabed. This process would generate plumes of sediment, potentially smothering filter-feeding organisms and reducing light penetration. Noise pollution from mining machinery could disrupt acoustically sensitive marine life. The removal of geological features, like vents or seamounts, would destroy unique ecosystems that have taken millennia to form. The long-term effects on slow-growing, fragile deep-sea ecosystems, many of which are endemic to specific locations, are largely unknown but predicted to be severe and potentially irreversible. Is the promise of resources worth the risk of irrevocably damaging a pristine, irreplaceable environment? Common heritage of mankind versus national interest. The vast majority of the deep seabed, including portions of the Mariana Trench, falls outside national jurisdictions and is legally designated as the common heritage of mankind. This means its resources should be managed for the benefit of all humanity, with particular consideration for developing nations. However, the current race is driven by national interests and commercial exploitation. How can the benefits of deep-sea resources be equitably shared when only a few technologically advanced nations possess the means to access them? Is the current regulatory framework of the International Seabed Authority, ISA, robust enough to ensure fairness and prevent a resource grab by the powerful? The weaponization of the deep sea. As deep-sea technology advances, the line between scientific exploration and military application blurs. Submersibles designed for research can easily be adapted for surveillance, intelligence gathering, or even offensive operations against critical undersea infrastructure like cables. This raises serious questions about the militarization of the deep sea, the potential for a new arms race in the abyss, and the risks of miscalculation or conflict in a domain where transparency is virtually non-existent. Unintended consequences and risk assessment. Operating at 11,000 meters is inherently risky. Equipment failure, environmental contamination, or even human error could have catastrophic consequences in such a fragile and extreme environment. Who bears responsibility for accidents in international waters? How do we accurately assess risks when our understanding of the deep sea environment is so incomplete? The silent pollution of scientific waste. Even scientific expeditions, while generally low impact, leave their footprint. Discarded equipment, battery leaks, and other forms of waste accumulated over decades of exploration contribute to the silent pollution of the deep. As exploration intensifies, so too will this often unseen impact. The Mariana Trench, in its formidable majesty, forces humanity to confront not only the limits of its technology, but also the depth of its moral compass. The pursuit of power and resources is a powerful motivator, but the ethical costs of unchecked deep-sea exploitation and militarization could be profound and long-lasting. Navigating this dark frontier requires not just scientific ingenuity and strategic foresight, but also a collective commitment to responsible stewardship, transparency, and international cooperation, values that often fall by the wayside in the heat of a geopolitical race. The truth behind this silent struggle is that it is not just for territory or resources, but for the very soul of how humanity chooses to govern its last, most mysterious frontier. The silent struggle for the Mariana Trench is not a distant concern. It is a live, unfolding drama with profoundly transformative implications for the future of global power. We have journeyed into a world of crushing pressure and eternal darkness, a realm once considered utterly untouchable, now a fiercely contested arena where science meets strategy and exploration dramatically morphs into a high-stakes competition. The deep ocean, particularly the deepest chasm on Earth, is no longer just a scientific curiosity. It is a crucible forging the next era of geopolitical dominance. The motivations are clear: a global thirst for critical resources, a relentless pursuit of technological supremacy, and the strategic imperative to control the hidden arteries of the modern world. As land-based resources dwindle and surface-level competition intensifies, the allure of the deep seabed, with its vast mineral deposits and untapped energy reserves, becomes irresistible. China, with its ambitious state-backed programs and rapidly advancing submersible technology, has positioned itself at the forefront of this new race, systematically exploring, mapping, and sampling the very deepest parts of the Mariana Trench. Its Striver submersibles are not merely breaking records, they are actively shaping the future, seeking out the rare earths, the fire ice, and the strategic intelligence that could redefine global power. In contrast, while the United States possesses significant deep-sea capabilities, its focus on manned ultra-deep exploration has waned, leaving a potential void that its rivals are eager to fill. This creates a dynamic tension, a silent, submerged arms race where the advantage could shift to those who dare to delve deeper and innovate faster. The implications are staggering: control over future supply chains for vital technologies, unparalleled advancements in robotics and AI, and the ability to project power and gather intelligence in a domain that remains largely impenetrable to the surface world. But this race is not without its shadows. The unknowns of the deep are immense, harboring undiscovered ecosystems and unforeseen geological phenomena that could be irreversibly damaged by human intrusion. The ethical dilemmas are equally profound. How do we balance national interest with the common heritage of mankind? How do we prevent a new colonial scramble for resources in the abyss? And how do we ensure that the pursuit of strategic advantage does not lead to the irreversible destruction of Earth's most pristine and mysterious environment? The Mariana Trench stands as both a symbol and a stark warning. It represents the ultimate frontier for human ingenuity and ambition, a testament to our relentless drive to explore and conquer. Yet, it also demands our utmost respect, a reminder of the fragility of even the most extreme ecosystems. The choices made today, in the dark, silent depths of this trench, will reverberate across the entire planet. They will determine not only who controls the resources and technologies of tomorrow, but also the very health of our planet and the nature of our international relations. This silent struggle is far from over. The currents of ambition run deep, and the secrets of the Mariana Trench are only just beginning to yield to human probing. As the race intensifies, one thing is certain: the future of global dominance may well be decided not on the battlefields of land, air, or space, but in the crushing, eternal darkness of the deepest place on Earth. The deep calls, and humanity answers, venturing into the abyss not just for discovery, but for destiny. The war for the last frontier has truly begun.
The objective is clear. Secure the bridge by 0600 hours. I want radio silence until then.
You cannot seriously argue that the current policy is working, Anderson. Look at the numbers.
Are irrelevant when you consider the long-term impact. This is pure political theater.
This is a breaking global alert.
We are receiving confirmation of the attack.
The markets are reacting swiftly.